You're listening to She Shield, your one-stop pod for all topics personal safety. I'm your host, Sophia, and my goal is to help educate women and men on concealed carry, martial arts, and all topics self-defense. But honestly, at this point, we've had so many more topics. We've had competition shooting, people talking about off-roading, overlanding, grappling. So it's basically a catch-all at this point, and I couldn't be happier to be here for it. But before we start today, please take a moment to rate the podcast. I think about 50 of you have gone on to Spotify to rate, and I appreciate that so much. I know that when I start a new podcast, seeing the ratings always makes me feel more confident to start listening, because it's kind of a commitment to start listening to a new one. So for those of you that have done that, thank you so much. If you haven't, just takes a few seconds. Please head over there now. This episode is sponsored by Big Tex Ordnance, your soon-to-be favorite retailer for all of your firearms needs. BTO believes in only selling quality gear for responsibly armed citizens, as well as providing pre- and post-sale support. BTO values firearms training and supports firearms instructors nationwide. They even pay for their own staff to train with high-level instructors to ensure that when you as the consumer reach out, you are taken care of. Today, we have Jalise Williams on the show. I've been waiting for this for a while. I've also had to reschedule on her so many times, so I'm just so happy that we're finally here. We had an awesome pre-show chat, just catching up. It's always so fun to see Jalise at events. You just brighten up a room when you walk in, and I do not say that about everybody. Like, you really do. You are such a lovely presence, and I'm so grateful to have you on the show today. So, Jalise, for those that do not know, will you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Jalise Williams. I'm a pro competitive shooter in a bunch of different practical shooting sports. And I think I hit my 30th national title in August. And I'm also a shotgun world champion and hoping to become a PCC handgun and in the future rifle.
Oh my gosh. Wow. You're incredible. I'm so glad I asked you to introduce yourself, because I wouldn't have done it justice. You are incredible. Okay, so for those that do not know, please tell us how you got started, because it's so unique, and I can't wait to have it on my podcast. So,
oh gosh, so I guess we go all the way back to the beginning.
Let's go all the way back.
I think I was 4 years old when I shot my first gun. My dad was a really big hunter, and to this day he still is. And so that's what I grew up doing, was hunting and fishing with my parents. And so like my first gun was a 357 Marlin, because we couldn't afford a 22 back then. And so that's what I learned to shoot on, and that was my first hunting rifle and stuff. We never used handguns. Like, my dad just didn't find a use for handguns. And then right about when I was 10 years old and I got my black belt in karate, my mother had an incident at work, and she decided she wanted to start concealed carrying. And she found like a Wednesday night ladies clinic out at the local range in St. George, Utah. She loved it, and she wanted my sister and I to be very well-rounded. That was something very consistent when we were growing up, was being well-rounded individuals. And she wanted my sister and I to be well-rounding in all of shooting. Like, we were already on rifles and shotguns, and she wanted us to learn how to shoot handguns. So she brought us out, and oh my gosh, I fell in love. My sister fell in love with it. And at 10 years old, I'm like, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life. Yeah. And everybody at the range was like so supportive and nice. Like, they brought us out to a Tuesday night steal and like USPSA weekend matches, and it just snowballed like crazy from there. And so this year marks my 10-year anniversary of shooting handguns and being in the sport.
That is incredible. And yes, a lovely story. I'm sorry that something had to happen at your mom's work to get her interested. That's a very, unfortunately, common entry into this world. Right. But she turned it into good, and that's incredible. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. And man, I'm sure it has been a wild journey. And I had your sister on the podcast. She was one of the first people we had on to talk about competition shooting. And actually, after that conversation, because I didn't realize you could start USPSA as a like fairly terrible shooter, and I was like, what? I can do this? So it's the reason I like started in it. So I've just admired you guys for so long, and I just feel grateful to have you here today. So thank you
Oh,
so
well,
much.
thank you so much for having me. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what,
absolutely.
like, I've been trying to get, like, my extended family to get into the sports, and they're like, we're not good enough. I'm like, I was doing it at 10 years old with no skills. Like,
Right.
this is a sport for all types of shooters, new, old, young, like, anybody can do it. And you have a
Yeah.
professional that will walk you through the steps to just do it.
Right. Right. No, that's totally fair. I can understand the nerves when it comes to like a professional walking you through, but I mean they do have that perfect like family combo. So you're not
Right.
really allowed to judge them. So, because you're family. So it's like, I'm just kidding. But yeah, they should definitely take you up on that. You should send them this
Oh,
episode. And this is, yeah, absolutely. I hope they do. And I think it's lovely that you all are so open to getting every other people interested. It seems like there's like if you just go on social media and for example, just watch a video of you running and gunning, you almost think that the camera skipped from the moment of the shot timer into you drawing your firearm because it's so fast. So to see that and to think like, okay, I can go to that same match, right? It's like it seems impossible. So for you to, of course, not nationals or anything like that, but local matches, for you to help bridge that gap and encourage others to get started at whatever level they're at is just incredible. And you're doing that right now with your instruction life. So if you don't mind, I would love for you to tell us a little bit about that.
yeah. So in, let's see, it was January or February. I think it was right around SHOT Show. I started my training company, Blue Star Performance. And so I've taught a couple of classes. So I teach like introduction to competition shooting, like high end level competition shooting, as well as like introduction to shooting sports, introduction to just shooting in general, because I want to help everybody become a better shooter. And I actually love teaching new shooters who've like never shot a gun before. I love doing that because one, they don't have any bad habits, and two, they're like they improve so quickly. Like they are excited and they want to be there and they want to get better. And it's those light bulb moments, like that's what keeps me going from times. It's like, ah.
Yes, absolutely. No, I love that. That's so wonderful, and it's encouraging to hear on this side of things as well. What other classes have you taught, or do you plan to teach in the future? Do you have anything you'd want to share on the podcast?
Let's see. I've taught the intro to competition shooting, and I have a class upcoming in October
Ooh,
for an introduction to shooting period. But I haven't taught a lot of classes this year. I've done a lot of privates, which is what I've had time for. My competition schedule this year was so insane. I just haven't really
mm,
made time for it. But going into 2025, I'm going to really emphasize on doing more classes and traveling for classes so that more people get the opportunity to take a class and learn. Because not everybody has the opportunity to travel to Grand Junction to take classes. So I'm
right.
going to hopefully pair these classes with some of my matches and stuff. And I'll be offering a variety of competition classes as well as introduction to shooting.
Right. Yeah. Honestly, how dare you only make High Lady and barely have hosted classes yet in this year? That's
I
just
used
honestly, it's
to
rude.
I used to teach for a company called TPC,
Okay.
Tactical Performance Center, and that was back when I was like 14 or 15 years old. And I that's where I learned a lot of my skills and stuff from was Ron Avery, who was co-owner of the company, and he was a phenomenal shooter, and he loved the science behind shooting, and he went into such depth of why we do what we do and not just do
Yeah.
it. And so I bring a lot of that into my teachings today, but I was so young when I was teaching those classes. And then unfortunately he had passed away and the company got
Mm,
sold, and I was no longer able to teach for the company, and so I was more focused on building my career. And I kind of had imposter syndrome for a long time where it's like I don't know if I am good enough to teach people. Like why would
yeah.
people want to listen to me? And then my buddy Austin Prue, who owns his own training company. He's an incredible shooter, great person, IDPA World and National champion, and owner of the shooting sport Ultimate Hunter. And he came to me one day, and he was, oh, it was at SHOT Show. At SHOT Show, he came to me and he was like, you know what? You need to get over this. You are a good shooter. You're a national and world champion. You have something to offer. And I teach constantly for a girl and a gun. And even though they like taking classes from me, they want to learn from women. And you have that to offer and more. So you need to get up on that horse and get after it. And so he was the one that kind of pushed me like, okay, I'm going to do this.
Sounds like a great friend.
He's
Sounds
really
like a great
great
friend. Absolutely. Yeah, imposter syndrome, it's always crazy to me to hear that people at your level have that. Like, it's sobering almost. But it makes total sense. I mean, like, one endeavor does not equal confidence in another endeavor. I mean, like, you have to build yourself in so many ways. I mean, honestly, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that side of things. It speaks a lot to your character, and it says a lot about how I just know you're gonna like pace yourself perfectly to be the best teacher you can be for your students, and then also maintaining like champion titles. I mean, yeah, you're doing it all. It's so cool, and I'm just so excited to watch your journey, and feel grateful that you're giving a piece of it today. So, but yeah, let's talk about.
I'm trying so hard.
Yeah,
There's
you
not
are.
there's not like a set plan to go on. Like, it's hard to just make it up as you go and like, oh, hopefully this works out.
Right. No, that makes total sense. It's interesting to see the more professional shooters I meet, because I'm still like very new to this world. It's interesting to see you all, because first of all, you all have like you've several jobs and endeavors and deals, contracts with brands, and then you have families and partners, and like balancing all of that, like what people do on a daily basis plus training like you do, it's just wild to me. And like having to just fill your time up. And if I can't imagine the feeling of like, I bet it feels bad to like take a break every now and then, and like having to like give yourself the grace.
It does, because I'm young and I'm like, I should be wanting to go harder and faster all the time, and like building the company and building my brand and building my shooting skills and everything. And then on top of that, like social media has become a thing, so you have to be a media manager. And now with shooting a bunch of different sports, now you have to be a politician on top of that. It's just it's a lot all at once, and I definitely do feel at times like, man, I need a break, but like I scheduled myself so that I don't have a break. And so I am planning on taking one in December. At the beginning of December, I have PCSL Nationals. And then after that, I'm gonna take December off. I'm gonna take most of January off until SHOT Show, so I can prep myself for 2025, because there's a lot of things I've put off and procrastinated because I'm like, oh, it's not that important. It can wait.
No, totally fair. If you don't mind sharing, what are you going to do to break? Is it family time? Is it hiking?
Yeah, it's definitely family time. So I'm gonna, go back to St. George and spend Christmas with my family. And then I have my best friend. She's in Phoenix, so I'm gonna spend New Year's with her and her family.
I love that. My best friend. That's how I talk about my best friend, Lisa. I'm always like, oh, it's hard not to go on a rant about how much I love her, like when I bring her up.
It really is.
I see that struggle. I see it.
Yeah. And then probably travel a little bit, and
nice.
I want to pick up skiing again because I haven't done that in a very long time. And then visit my boyfriend's family. So
fun. Oh my gosh, that sounds like a great plan. I'm excited for you. That's going to be awesome. Yeah, skiing sounds it sounds like a good de-stressor. Like,
I live
can't really
in
think about
Colorado
much
now, so it's like I can't not. I mean, it's right here.
Yeah, you can't not, exactly. No, that's awesome. Yeah, and Grand Junction is beautiful. I don't know, have you mentioned where you teach at? Is that something you want to share today?
Yeah, so my main training facility now is the Cameo Shooting and Education Complex in Grand Junction, Colorado. I moved out here in May, And so that's where I taught my very first class as Blue Star Performance. And this facility is just, I mean, it's incredible. You have the most incredible view of the mountains and the surrounding areas. And then this range is just, it's humongous. Like I
Yes.
had my pick of like 20 bays that I could set up my classes in. And they have all the materials and stuff for like setting up swingers and walls and fault lines and target stands. They had everything available here that they let me use. And so it's just been a really great opportunity to have been able to move here and kind of build this as my home base now.
That's amazing. And the reason I was agreeing is because I've been there and she is not lying, you guys. It is beautiful there. Like I would move there if I were in your position and I had to choose somewhere to live, to just have a beautiful view every day. Absolutely. Yeah. And you're kind of like, I don't know, do you get a good balance of, I mean, this is probably still like a silly question, but outdoor and indoor balance, like, do you prefer being outdoors? So does that, what am I trying to ask? This is
I get what you're saying. I definitely prefer being outdoors. I mean, that's kind of the way I grew up, was outdoors hunting and fishing with my family.
Yeah.
And then being on a range most of the days.
Yeah.
So I love the sunshine. I love being outdoors and all the time. And like while I was getting ready for our world shoots this year, I went out like on the day I was doing 3 days. I was practicing 3 times a day. But on the days where I'm like, I'm so tired, like I just need a break. So I would like shoot in the morning and then I would go up to the mesa, which is about an hour away, and I would fish for, an hour or two and then drive back and shoot in the evening. So I got that outdoor, but also that kind of like settling, relaxing presence, and then come right back to work.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. That sounds like the perfect day. That's so cool. Yeah, honestly, you're in a great spot. I just went there recently for A Girl and a Gun, and I definitely want to revisit. Have to come to one of your classes next year.
Yes,
Put that on my
yes.
my training roster. My sister lives in Denver, so.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
Right there.
I'm hoping to get a class schedule up by SHOT Show 2025. So be on the lookout for that. I'll be posting it on my social media accounts, but I'm also getting a website built. So I'll be posting about my website and it going up and having like my shooting schedule as well as my match schedule. Oh gosh, my goodness. My match schedule as well as my class schedule.
Yeah. Oh, hey, you're good. I just asked you if you liked being outside as a podcast question, so we're good. We're even now. This is good.
I went on a huge tangent. My bad.
No, I'm glad. No, that's not what I meant. I just mean my question didn't make any sense. Like we're both fumbling a little bit, but it's like, that's how this should be. It's a convo. Yeah. It's a conversation. But no, how exciting. For those of you that are like, oh, websites aren't a big deal. No, it's a huge deal. Like, takes a lot of organization. And yes, it's a lot of work. When I launched mine, I made a post that was like website live. And I was like, yes, but I'm sure everyone was like, okay, cool. Like,
oh my gosh, it takes so much work. I feel so bad because my website designer is a really good friend of mine, and he's actually local here at Cameo. And I see him a few times a week, and he's always like, when are we going to get it live? Like, I need this, this, and this from you. I'm like, I'm leaving for a match tomorrow. Like, this is how crazy my match schedule is this year. I spent 4 days in Grand Junction in August.
Wow.
Not all together either. I was here for 1 day, and then I was here for another day, and then I was here for 2 days, and I was so thankful for those 2 days.
Yeah,
that's how my schedule's been this year. I don't spend any time at home.
Wow. And hey, it paid off. I mean, let's talk about that. So for those of you that do not follow Jalise on, also, is it Jalise or Jalise? You said it like Jalise.
It's hard to pronounce because my parents didn't put in a Y in my name. So now it gets mispronounced a million different ways.
Okay. I feel better now that you said that, but I'm going to work on reversing that, and I'll have to, yes. Okay. I'm fixing this. Jalise. Okay. So If you guys do not follow her on social media, I have linked all of her socials below. And whenever you get your website live, we'll make sure that's linked with this episode as well. But you recently placed sixth among the best in the world at Rifle World Shoot, third among the US women. And then to top that off, at IDPA World Nationals, you won High Lady for iron sights. And let's just take a moment because wow, that is incredible. I know it at your level, it's like, yeah, cool, cool, cool. But over here, it's, I mean, so impressive. Congratulations. I would love to hear about that experience and wherever you want to start with it. Just,
Yeah.
yeah,
So that all happened in August. So what's really funny is I live for Rifle World Shoot like July 30th or something. And then IDPA had scheduled their nationals the week after Rifle World Shoot, and so I knew it was going to be really tight. So I got back from Rifle World Shoot on Tuesday, and I flew out Thursday for nationals, IDPA nationals. So that's the
wow.
schedule I had chosen for myself,
Yeah,
and that was chaotic.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I cannot imagine. And well, let's start with IDPA World Nats. So, how was that experience? How is that compared to the past? Anything you're looking forward to for next year? Give us the 360
Yeah.
view of it. Yeah,
IDPA nationals, they do. It's just a very certain kind of shooting sport, very specific style or whatever. So it doesn't
yeah,
feel like it changes much from year to year. But I started shooting IDPA, I think, 3 years ago. Um, and where I lived at the time, we didn't have an IDPA club. And so I always had to travel like
okay,
5+ hours to a club. So I had shot like, I think, 2 matches before that nationals, and I shot nationals. I had penalties and stuff because I didn't really know the rules or get to practice them.
yeah,
But I had been chasing the IDPA Iron Sight Lady National title for 3 years. And this year, and I thought for sure going in, like, I had 100 rounds through my 1911, which is what I shot there, since the end of May. Yeah, that's all I had put through the gun before going to IDPA Nationals. And I was like, we're gonna send it. Like, who knows? And
I love that.
man, that first day I was like, yeah, I'm gonna lose. That's okay.
No,
Like, that's all right. That's fine. And then I looked at the scores that night. I'm like, holy crap, I'm winning. What? And so like going into day two, the last day, I was like, okay, we're gonna do what we're supposed to do. We're gonna keep this energy going. And I walked away with the IDPA national title, which it means a lot to me.
yeah. Yes, I would think so. That is, oh my gosh, that's incredible. Okay, so I'm curious. Do you think because you had the mentality of this
Maybe.
isn't,
I
I don't
didn't
know. Do you
feel
think that
like I shot good. Like, I didn't
you
feel like
did
I
feel,
shot
you
good. I
didn't
just
feel?
shot.
Oh,
I didn't. I didn't feel like I shot good.
interesting.
Looking at the scores, like compared against the people, like the men in my division, I'm like, oh, I'm not doing good. And then I looked at the ladies, I'm like, oh crap, I am doing good. What? But maybe it is
Interesting.
that kind of mindset where it was just like, we're just gonna shoot a match and we're going to enjoy it. Because I was there with
Okay.
my friends and my boyfriend, and it was really just I was enjoying it. I had fun, and I kind of have been forgetting to have fun at matches because I look at it as a job. Like, my job is to go and win. And this time, like, I told my sponsors and stuff, I'm like, hey, I'm not going to have any time to train for this, but I'm going to show up. I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to be a good representative for the companies. And they were
Oh,
like, yeah, we totally understand. Do what you got
right.
to do. We're just happy that you're able to make it to that match, that you were able to adjust your schedule accordingly to,
Yeah.
because I had a couple sponsors sponsored IDPA nationals, and they were just happy to have somebody from the team there. And so they were all, I like called my boss afterwards, like looking at the scores. I'm like, I did it. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. And like the whole office was like cheering in the background.
Oh, yay. Oh, that's so sweet. And it's after you told them, like, I haven't really trained. And then you call them back and you're like, so actually, I got first. You are, you are so impressive. That is so cool. And it's so fun to hear. that like you were relaxed and it yielded good results. I've heard that from a lot of, I say a lot, probably I'd say around 10 competitive shooter people I've spoken to. Like when they have fun and relax, they do well. And it's just really cool to see that same theme come up again.
Yeah, there's no pressure when there's no expectations. But at a certain point, once you start achieving things, people expect that from you. And so there's that
Right.
added pressure is like, not only do I want to be do good and win for me, but I have to win for like all these people and these sponsors and like my family and stuff. And so it's kind of going into that match with no expectations. I think that kind of brought me back to how I used to shoot and how I used to have a really good time at matches. And I think I want to bring that energy going forward now because I obviously shot well and I want to
Yes.
enjoy my work and my job.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When it comes to the mental aspect of your sport and preparing, do you have any practices that you use repeatedly to just get you in the zone? Or like I know Lena has her cone of silence that she does with her headphones, and like is there anything fun like that you do to kind of get you zeroed in? I say that because I know you and Lena are good friends and um
Yeah, I love
also
Lena. She's
teammates and stuff.
great.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Do you have anything like
Um,
that or
no, I honestly don't
yeah.
really. I've always kind of just been like, I'm here to shoot.
Yeah.
I obviously
Cool.
like to squad with friends and people I know and stuff. That way it
Yeah.
kind of just takes the pressure down a notch and everything, and I get a chance to have fun with them. But
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, like I guess my last practice before I go, I do a set of fundamental drills, and then like the night before the match, I sit down and I have like a good steak dinner. That's kind of my thing. I want a good dinner
That's
before I
cool.
go and go to work and stuff. But I
Yes.
don't really. I just try and keep it low key and relax. I don't
Yeah.
go out and party and stuff during the matches. I know some people
Okay.
like that. For me, I get so tired. It's exhausting
Yes, totally
from
fair.
shooting and like being so active and talking to people and everything. I just want to
Yeah.
go back to my Airbnb and like that's why I like Airbnbs is because after going out that night and having a nice dinner, I want to go um like the rest of the nights that I'm there for a match, I want to make my own dinner and just have a
Oh,
nice low key night in so I can go to bed early
good.
and everything.
Oh, that's so smart. I love that. And yeah, I prefer Airbnbs over anything. I love having a kitchen. I love being like
Yeah.
secluded. I hate going to events and being in the same hotel as everyone. Like, have you ever creeped out of your hotel room to go get coffee in the morning and like you're not like, yeah, and then you have to see people and be like, hi, it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know,
Yeah.
Airbnbs rule. Yeah.
I traveled with friends to IDPA Nationals and I was like running out of the elevator cuz I forgot to get electrolyte drinks for the next day. And so I'm like, okay, I got to get to the store before it closes. And like, I go to run out of the
Yeah.
elevator and I run straight into Austin.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
like, my eyes are red. I'm like, I'm so sorry. And he's like,
Yeah.
no, it's okay. It's fine. He had like a little bit of food
That's
in
so
his
funny.
like in his arms of
Yeah.
like from the restaurant or
Snacks.
whatever. I'm like, I'm
Oh,
so
gotcha.
sorry. And he's like, yeah, are you good? I'm like, no, I don't want to be up this late, but I need this for tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. You need those electrolytes for sure.
Like in my
No.
pajamas.
Yes, yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Airbnbs, they rule. They
That's
rule.
why Airbnbs
Um,
are great.
for
You don't have to
sure.
talk to anybody if you don't want to.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah. And your host leaves you alone usually. So yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Totally side note, but one time when I lived in Spain in college, this I booked this Airbnb with a friend from my school that I was going to there. And we walked in. It was like a horror movie. We were just in the living room sitting down and then the shower turns on and we're like, what the heck? So we go to the bathroom and like the door's not opening and turns out we picked a shared Airbnb. And it was like when they started doing that and like so there's a whole other dude staying in the Airbnb. We just didn't hear him in the bathroom. Like, I'm sure he
Oh my
thought we broke
gosh.
in. So we were both just like, what's going on? But anyway, typically it's a good experience. He ended up being normal. So I think he was a spy though. He like wouldn't really tell us what he did. So I went with spy over murderer, but all right, moving on. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the rifle world shoot. How did that go? I know you competed as an individual, so I'd love to kind of hear about that experience, however much you would like to share.
Are you searching for a brand you can trust when it comes to shooting and gun care products? Look no further than Birchwood Casey. Since 1948, serious shooters, avid collectors, and professional gunsmiths have relied on Birchwood Casey. They've been in the game for over 70 years, providing us with products that have stood the test of time. From their legendary True Oil gunstock finish to the dependable Perma Blue, Birchwood Casey's commitment to quality is unmatched. Birchwood Casey has also revolutionized the way we train and improve our shooting skills with their innovative Shoot and See targets. These targets let you see your shots instantly, making it easier than ever to track your progress and become a better marksman. Head over to birchwoodcasey.com today and discover the products that have earned the trust of shooters worldwide. And use code SheShield20 to save 20% on your order and to support the podcast. Again, that's SheShield20, SHESHIELD 20 at checkout. Happy shooting.
Yeah. There isn't qualifiers for rifle and shotgun world shoots. So in order to go, you have to like almost submit a resume of where you've competed with that gun and your placement and everything. And so I submitted my resume and everything, and then I was denied a slot on the ladies open team, and I tried to appeal so that I could, get on the team and stuff. I felt like I had worked really hard, and my match placements were high enough that I felt like I did belong. I hate using that word, but I felt like I did belong on
Sure.
that team. And I was denied again. And then I was told I was going to get the alternate slot because when you go to World Shoot, they pick 4 members for the team. And then to get a total team score, they take 3 out of the best 4 scores. And then they also send an alternate just in case somebody has to drop out last minute. So I was told I was going to get the alternate slot. And then teams the team sheet came out, and I didn't even make the alternate. But I was given a slot as an individual to compete, so I did have the opportunity to go and stuff, and so I took the opportunity, and I worked my butt off. I worked so hard. I was and in the months prior I was still shooting handgun and stuff because I had matches, so I was splitting my time like one practice session with handgun, one practice session with rifle. And then from like mid June through July I dedicated myself to only rifle. And I did have to come to terms like, you're not going to win IDPA this year, so don't even try, like just focus on rifle, accept it. And so I only practiced rifle, and I was doing 3 a days. Every once in a while I would, like once a week I might do a 2 a day, but I was doing 3 a days prior to it. And I wanted to prove that I should have been on that team, period. And so I went there, and with the way the schedules and stuff work with the teams and individual shooting, since I competed as an individual, I was not able to be on the same stages on the same squad as the team that was competing. I was not able to be on the same schedule, and I was on the complete opposite stages that they were shooting. So going in, I shot blind, because the great thing about shooting on the same squad as your team and against your direct competition is you know when and how to push. You know where they fall short, you know where you fall short, and so you can kind of adjust to that. And since I wasn't able to do that because of my denied team slot, I was on the complete opposite, and I had shot 3 days in the complete dark. I shot 3 days blind, like hoping this is going to be good enough. And then I shot well enough. I just relied on my training and everything, and I shot well enough, and I took 6th overall open lady and 3rd USA lady.
Incredible.
So I kind of proved that I belong on the team next time. It sucks that I had to go through that because of the way they had chosen to dole out slots for teams. And that's kind of upsetting and stuff that we don't have a legitimate qualifier for that, because now we have individuals on teams that maybe shouldn't be, and other individuals who compete as individuals who should be and have earned their way, but nobody wants to give them, a chance, because I hadn't competed at a rifle world shoot in the past. I was so young during the others that I didn't get the chance, and this was like my first year to do it, and because of some politics and stuff and not having qualifiers, I didn't even make the alternate slots. And so I'm hoping in the future we get legitimate qualifications, because I think there's a big issue in this year choosing teams, because there was huge conflicts of interest. And there were multiple individuals on the committee that was chosen to choose who goes on the teams and who competes as individuals. And some of them were on the teams themselves, and they were also the people on the committee who chose who got on those teams. So I think if we're not going to have qualifiers, we shouldn't have that conflict of interest, because you can't be friends with everybody. There are some people who are going to dislike you, and unfortunately for me, there was a couple individuals on that committee that I do not get along with. That's just how it is sometimes. Can't get along with everybody. I try and treat everybody with respect and kindness up until, as hopefully people understand, until you disrespect me, or more importantly, my family. Yes. And so I have issues with some of the people that were on that committee, and I think that was part of why not only was I not chosen for the team, but why I was also denied the alternate slot.
Thank you for sharing that side of the shooting sports. It's not something that I've talked about it with some other people at your level, kind of in confidence, but I've never heard about that in context to someone who has been personally affected by it. For you to come on and share that, I think is incredibly important, especially if we want to see change going forward. So I appreciate you taking that responsibility and also being vulnerable, and also for saying it so tastefully. You know what I mean? Like, you really, really suffered some crazy indignities for how much you prepared and for what you deserved. So for you to say it like you did, I think was lovely. If you had to take steps or offer a solution to this, how would you go about doing that?
Yeah, there's a lot of people offering the same solution as I am, which is like, let's put matches together so that we can have qualifiers. And then there are other individuals I know who are phenomenal rifle shooters, and some of these were at the previous rifle world shoot, and they placed very highly, and they were not only denied team slots, they were denied individual slots, and these people should be going. And then there's a couple individuals I know who went as individual shooters to rifle world shoots who should have been on the team, period. So it sucks that there's politics now involved in these choices to choose the best of the best who gets to represent our country and go win world titles, because it shouldn't be about politics. It should be about winning gold medals. That's what it should be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's so horrendous to hear, to be honest. It is good to know, though, that it's not that not that your case isn't strong enough, but the fact that it's not just you, it's like it's entire groups of people. It's so discouraging to hear, and I would love to see policy change for you as well. I know
I do too. I've tried talking to a couple of the board members, the president, like these need to be changed, not only for me as a selfish individual, but also for the other individuals who didn't even get the chance, even though they deserved those chances based off of their match placements. Like,
Yeah.
it needs to change because there shouldn't be that much power involved in it that you disrupt somebody's career. And that's the big thing for me, is my career was disrupted because of this.
It's a really good way to put that. Yeah, it's not just your feelings or how you see yourself. It's your career path. It's who you get to work with and decisions on like contracts and like your livelihood all the way to
Right.
like affecting you 5 years down the road. I mean, yeah, that's a really great
Right.
point. I'm glad you brought that up.
This is my career path. I'm building a brand. I'm in the industry for the long haul. I've been in the industry for 10 years, and I don't know what to do. I've tried talking to people, and I'm hoping there's enough talk around the injustices that happened at this Rifle World Shoot that it's going to change. I hope it does, because our careers shouldn't be come to a standstill off of an individual who doesn't want you to go.
Yeah, like just doesn't want you to go. That's just, oh, yeah. I'm so sorry to hear that this is happening, still happening. I've heard this story from a good friend in the industry, and I remember the first time I heard that this was happening, it was really hard to believe that at your level, I mean, that's like, it's literally, it's like Olympic level. Like you're
This
up
is
there.
our
It's like,
Olympics.
it's your Olympics. It's like, how the hell are there still like issues that
Yeah.
keep people who, you know, have deserved those spots from succeeding in those spots?
Right,
It's just
right.
crazy to me.
And
Yeah.
looking at how the teams and stuff placed, like Lena Michalek and Justine Williams, they were chosen for the team. Those are top-notch shooters. They belonged on that team 100%. But
Yeah.
if you were watching scores throughout the days on the ladies US Open team versus the Finnish Open team, because that was our direct competition. The Finnish Open team was beating us like the entire match leading up into the last day, and the US only won by, I think it was like 25 points. And if it wasn't for Lena and Justine like giving it their all on that last day, not only for individual medals but for the team, because the team was basically counting on them to hold them, like Justine and Lena almost lost another gold medal because of who was chosen for that team based off of politics. And not to toot my own horn, but if I would have been on that team, it wouldn't have been close. I think I did the math, and it would have been like 160-point lead instead of a 25-point lead. Like,
That's not the same as tooting your own horn. You have data to support this claim. You know what I mean? Like you could present the data to say like I would have made this difference. So it's not a no. Yeah.
And even to go further than that, I mean, Ashley Robertson at the 2019 Rifle World Shoot was the last Rifle World Shoot that we had. She had won it. She had won Open Lady. It went Ashley Robertson, Lena Michalek, and then Lanny Barnes. And they had all individually. They had all medaled individually. So Ashley had gone through some issues in December, and I think it's because of that nobody had asked her if she wanted to go. And to me, that was, even though there's heartbreaking stuff in her personal life, she still should have been asked because she had won the previous one. And I believe IPSC rewards previous world champions a slot, and it's up to that country to deliver that slot. And nobody had contacted her. And so she didn't even get, it was her choice whether or not to compete at this world shoot or not. And they didn't even give her the opportunity to choose. And to me, that was very, very disrespectful. And she should have been on that team. And she would have raised that team so much higher. Phenomenal shooter, previous world champion. That was her right. And they took it away from her.
That is so unfortunate. Yeah, that's not right at all. I mean, anyone can look at the situation and objectively say that there needs to be change. But it absolutely hurts me for you to hear that this is happening. And I think it's incredible that you're speaking out respectfully. Like, the way that you are doing this is incredible. You've tried to make changes, and you haven't seen the changes you've wanted to see. So, I mean, all you can do is spread the word and just continue being yourself and keep fighting for your position. And earlier you said selfish, but it's selfish in the same way. Like, when you leave a really bad relationship, you're like, I have to be selfish. It's like, you deserve better. You're protecting yourself, and you're also leading by example. And the fact that you're doing that at the age of 21 and just blazing a path for everyone that comes with you is just amazing. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. I don't want younger individuals who are coming up in the shooting sports to have to fight and claw for everything that they should deserve based off of their accomplishments. Like you've placed this high, you've made it, you've accomplished it, and now you have to fight to even get a slot to a world shoot, even though your accomplishments say you belong there. Like, I don't want somebody to have to go through that and have their career almost come to a stall because of it. Like, it's not right. And so hopefully with me saying this, and I hope other people hear this, and other individuals who have gone and have seen these will say something, and hopefully the board changes their minds on the way it works, because change needs to happen. Because this year teams, I don't want to say got lucky, but like Justine and Lena worked their heinies off for it, and they brought the team to the point where they scraped by a gold, because they had to hold up the other individuals on the team. And so we don't want that. We want the U.S. #1 winning by a mile. And that's what you can do when you have the proper people doing it. So hopefully in the future it changes. Hopefully there will be other individuals who are bringing the same issues to light to the board, so we won't have to deal with the same things at 2026 Shotgun World Shoot.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Yes. Actually, you just triggered a memory. I had another friend tell me about not making the shotgun team a couple years ago. It's just coming back, and I think that was the first time I heard about this, where I was like, wait, what? Sorry, you guys have to like be really, 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 really good shooters and then also fight for your spot. I don't get it. Like, it was like, make it make sense. And I remember thinking I misunderstood, because I was like, that just sounds insane to me. But like everything, unfortunately, there are people, and where there are people, there are politics. So geez, thank you for sharing that perspective. It's one we have not had on this podcast ever. I love that you're spreading awareness, and I hope that this encourages others to reach out, and if the masses can contribute. I mean, hey, if there's a petition out there that we can link to this episode, I mean, get people to sign it, something like that. I mean, you all deserve better. Absolutely. And you have some other incredible ventures coming up this next year. Would you like to talk a little bit about those?
Yeah. Okay, so for remaining this year, I have Handgun Nationals next week. I have the Double Alpha Challenge in Curacao. That's going to be very exciting. Another international match. PCC Nationals, and a couple of other small matches, and then PCSL 2-Gun Nationals in December. So that PCSL 2-Gun will be the wrap of my full year shooting season. And then going into 2025, big year, going to expand my my training platform, and I also have 2 world shoots next year, including PCC World Shoot, which I believe is in May, and then Handgun World Shoot in October, November, something like that. So those are very exciting. I've looked at my scoring for those world shoots, it looks like I'll be on the PCC. So PCC and handgun are the only ones where you're scoring from nationals, creates your overall score, and then you compare your overall scores to the other individuals and stuff to see who makes the team based off of your scoring. So it's legitimate qualifications. So I'm already qualified for PCC World Shoots. I'm going to shoot PCC this year again to see if I can get a higher score. And then I have Handgun Nationals this year where I'll be shooting single stack, which will go towards Handgun World Shoots. And I'm hoping, I'm praying that I've worked hard enough that I can get a slot onto the classic team, because there's not enough ladies to create a classic team. So if I want to go on a team, I have to make basically the men's team, but they also send an alternate. So I have the potential of getting an alternate slot too. But it's really important to me that I make this, because there are other divisions that are more popular, including, carry optics and open and other divisions and stuff that are way more popular. So if they're going to send individuals, if the sport's going to send individuals, they're going to want to send more individuals in the most popular divisions. So by the time individual slots are, dwindled down, classic's one of the classic single stack is one of the last ones that gets slots. And it's important to me that I go, because handgun is my main. That's what I've dedicated 10 years towards. And that's what I've been working so hard, is to go to Handgun World Shoot and win a classic gold medal in ladies, and potentially, hopefully, well, we'll see if it happens. It's a long shot, but it's not too far of a long shot to make the team. So we're gonna hope, we're gonna pray, and we're gonna work our butts off to do it.
Oh yeah, and I think you've shown yourself that a long shot, it can turn into placing high lady, and you know what I mean. Like it's so crazy. Like, you've proven to yourself that you can make that happen. Of course, I know it's different. Like, as far as the games are a bit different there, but yeah, no, if anyone can do it, you can do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm rooting for you. Absolutely. It's going to be incredible. And the fact that you're balancing
I'm sitting 6th right now for the teams.
Very
so
nice.
I think I need 2% at over my next competition to make the team. I think I only need 2%. So.
Okay. Wow. I don't have like that's kind of hard for me to comprehend. So, like, what would it take, I guess, to get that 2%, if you don't mind sharing?
Give or take, 2% is 30 points, I think, on average. Okay. It changes year to year, but I think I need 30 points more, or 2%.
Gotcha.
And it also depends if they get a higher score this year. Like,
because it can, yes. Okay.
It can change, but I'm far ahead of the person in 7th, but it's right there. I can almost taste it.
Gotcha. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I can't imagine. It's vastly different from when I check my USPSA scores. I do it to just make sure that I am at least around the 50th percentile of my level 1 match. I'm like, if I'm around it, I'm like, yes, woo. Like,
that's a good percentage. I mean, you're new. That's an awesome percentage to shoot for.
I appreciate it. I'm C class, so I'm chilling. But actually, my favorite match I ever shot was with Lena. She was like, I was like, hey, Sophia, like, talk to myself. I was like, get ready. She's going to take this super seriously. We're going to go in. She's going to be laser focused. I keep getting that mixed up. We went to the grocery store the night before and bought, like, basically the food for a charcuterie board, and like ate that when we were out there. And it was like snowing, and we like laughed a bunch and just enjoyed, and like had a bunch of great conversations, and like talked about stage planning, and it was the most fun match ever. And I actually ended up shooting really well, even though it was my first one shooting from inside the waistband, first time shooting my X macro ever, first time shooting that red dot. It went really well just because I was so relaxed and in good company, and like that was when it kind of clicked for me on my own that like that can carry you so far. Of course on a very different level, but yeah, that was probably the best one, but I can't remember why that went up or why that came up. I would love to know, what is your favorite match snack? Do you have like a weird combination that you love?
I don't snack a lot during matches because when
Okay.
I like, I'm old now. When I eat in the afternoon, I get lethargic, so I don't snack that much. And also,
You're
like, I'm
not
so
allowed to say
busy
you're
like
old
taping
now.
targets and getting ready and getting ready and everything. Like, I don't really find time to eat. But what I do is those VA energy drinks. So they have like enough
Yeah.
caffeine as like a cup of coffee, and it's made
Okay.
with green tea and everything. So it's
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it's healthy, but it's way better than just a standard energy drink. So I like
Yeah.
those, and then I switch on and off. Like I'll have that like midday. Um, and then I switch on and off between like water and an electrolyte drink between every stage, and maybe some fresh fruit like raspberries. I love raspberries,
Cool.
so they're easy to take and everything.
Oh, absolutely. No, that's good to know. That's become one of my favorite things to ask. It's always funny to hear like combinations. I heard about someone taking chopsticks to the match to like eat fruit and like cheese with, so they don't
Oh
like
yeah, so you
touch
don't get the lead
stuff with
on.
their
Yeah,
hands. Yeah, I've yet to try that, but it's on my list
I would
personally.
lose them immediately.
Someone's just walking along in the match and they see chopsticks and I'm like, it's really weird. That'd be a really weird thing to find, but yeah.
Fine.
Right. That's so funny. Tactical chopsticks. No, this is incredible. I thank you so much for sharing your journey and what you have coming up, what you've accomplished, some things you want to see changed, and also just how you got started in general. It's been so lovely to know you guys. I I was told by a friend at Walther to just reach out to Justine because she had a I was told she would be great to talk about getting started in competition shooting with, and I learned that you guys are incredibly talented sisters, and I was like, that's awesome. And I love to see you guys doing that. I grew up in a family where my sisters and I played competitive violin and piano together, so we were like, we leaned on each other a lot in those days. So I just love to see that dynamic. And I would love to ask this before we end today, though. What are your feelings on, or what would you say to someone who wants to get into competitive shooting, whether that be IDPA, USPSA, but they're feeling apprehensive to get started because maybe they see someone like you and they're like, oh my gosh, that's just at such a high level. What would be your message to them?
That's a good question. I would say bring a friend, because if you have a friend that you're really close with or a family member or something to bring out there with you, you won't feel so alone and new to it. You'll have somebody else who's new to it too. Like you guys can lean on each other and you can explore it together, and it could be something new you guys do together. I mean, I think that was part of why my sister and I loved it so much when we first began, is because we had each other, and more than that, we had our parents doing it with us in the beginning. My parents don't do it anymore because they're like, oh gosh, if I go to another match, it'll be too soon. But like we all did it as a family. We all went to the range as a family together, and we all learned together. And so finding someone to do it with, whether it's your husband or girlfriend or a friend or a family member, like just find somebody that has that common interest. Even if they don't, drag them out to the range. They need to learn how to shoot
Yes,
anyway.
absolutely. And it's so cool to see how people at varying levels shoot. It's just interesting to go and watch. It's like, yeah, it's like any other sport, but like way cooler. So, I mean,
We all shoot at different levels, and we all get together and we all have fun and we all make fun of each other no matter what.
absolutely. That's only natural. No, that's so cool. That's so awesome. Well, I'm so excited to see where you continue to take your career path. And I'm very happy for you being in such a beautiful place and using that as the foundation to your new teaching career. I mean, it's just going to be so awesome. And I would love to come take a competition class with you. Honestly, any class just to like hang out and be able
Oh
to,
my gosh,
you know,
please come out
see
here.
you.
I've got a
Yes.
spare bed.
Yes, we have to stop just meeting at trade shows. So
I know.
even though
Oh,
I hope to
gosh.
see you at SHOT Show, are you going to be there?
Yes.
I'm
Yep,
assuming.
I will
Yes.
definitely
Okay.
be there this year.
Awesome. Very, very cool. Yes. No, that's great. It was
I'll be
really
hiding
nice.
out in my room.
I was about to ask you, like maybe like what your goals are for this SHOT Show. Are you? Do you?
I haven't really. I'm still like in
hide.
my shooting season, so I haven't really planned for it
It's hard
yet
to think
I'm
about
like
that, I'm
still
sure, yeah.
under the chaos
Yes.
of the
yeah.
matches right now. But I mean, in general, like go and support my sponsors. Maybe take a couple of meetings here and there. I don't party, so it's not really my scene. So usually I'll go to like a professional dinner or something, and then just go to sleep in my room because I'm boring. I like
No, you're
my
not.
quiet time.
There's nothing
I
wrong
like
with
my
that.
sleep, darn it.
Yes, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Yeah, and like I know the first year I had a little bit more fun than the second year. And the second year, in my opinion, was better because I feel like I was more alert. I didn't stay out as late, so I got more sleep. I didn't drink at all. And I just felt better. And it was like, I look forward to this year because last year wasn't a total, dumpster fire. So like, there's something to be said
Right.
about that approach, pacing yourself.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. I've always been underage. Going to SHOT
Right.
shows and stuff. I've been going since I was 16, and
Yeah.
2024 SHOT Show this year, I turned 21 during SHOT Show. So
Oh yeah.
SHOT Show is rough for me this year. So I
Totally
learned
fair,
like
totally
my
fair.
first time drinking and like being at SHOT Show, being of age. I'm like, you know what? This isn't my thing. I kind of just want to. I understand my parents a lot more now, where like they
That's
just
so
want to be
funny.
home, and my mom just wants
Yeah.
to crochet like napkins and stuff. I'm like, I kind of get that. Like for my quiet time now, like, and I will definitely be doing this at SHOT Show. I picked up needlepoint.
Oh,
So
that's
my
awesome.
quiet time. I do needlepoint.
think that's
And that's
great.
what I'll be doing in my room at SHOT Show.
Good. Yeah. And you can always, like, if you get there and there's a night you want to go out, you can always change your mind. But
Right.
also, like, I love Venetian room service. They've got it down. So,
It is fabulous.
there's gonna be a night where I just order room service. I know there was one night at NRA, Lena and I stayed together and I went out and like partied and she wrote me and she was like,
Nothing
I am
wrong
not
with
doing
that.
anything. There's nothing wrong with it. I was gonna like explain more and then I was like, no, I just partied, okay? And I was gonna say like who I went with. Oh, no, that's not for this podcast. I'll start another podcast, the Drunken Trade Show or something. And I came back and I was like, what'd you do, Lena? And she was like, nothing. I ordered room service and I secluded myself. And I was like, I think that's great. And of course she had to talk to like, I was no one. I was just like, I was walked around like chilled and like Lena was there like signing autographs and stuff. So like she was exhausted. But
Lena is the belle of the ball, and
She
she's
is.
The
Oh my
perfect
gosh.
she's the perfect person to be that. I always see her; she's always
Yes.
smiling and being goofy and
she's
stuff.
great.
Like, but it's so
Yes.
nice to like when I talk to her and stuff. It's nice to know that she gets the way I do too. Where it's like I don't want to be around a single person right now. Don't touch me.
Yes. Yeah. She's a human
Like
being.
okay,
Yeah.
so it's not weird.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah. Oh, she's so lovely. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I'm excited to see you. I hope I get to see you before, but it doesn't sound like I'm going to be able to with your match schedule. And
Yeah.
I've got some stuff going on too. So,
But
Right,
SHOT
no,
Show,
but
and
I'm
then
so-
sometime more than
Yes.
once next year.
Yes, that's a good goal. That would be more than this year. I mean, I did see you for like 2 seconds at NRA.
Yes.
NRA. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but we're gonna make it happen. Thank you so much for taking the time to come on today. I love that. I love the message you ended everyone off with like, how do you get started in USPSA? Is there anything else you want to say though before we go today?
I think we
Okay,
covered
that's
it all.
okay.
It was a lot we
I
covered.
think we did
looking
too.
back.
I feel really good about this episode. So thank you seriously so much. I can't wait to have you on again if you ever if you get into your shooting career and your instruction career and you have some things come up that you feel passionate about, I'd love to have you back on the episode. Otherwise, can't wait to hang out with you at SHOT Show. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the end of show notes for those of you listening. If you'd like to, and I need to say this at the beginning of the episode, if you'd like to see the whole episode with video, you can go to YouTube. And we post it there now. I'm terrible at announcing that. Lisa Hamilton is the social media editor for She Shield. She makes those awesome shorts you see on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Livefire, Rumble, X, everywhere. She posts them everywhere. She's amazing. So if you want to go check those out, please do. She works very hard on them. They're awesome show highlights. You get to see us laugh and add in some B-roll to give you context for what we're talking about. Again, if you liked the podcast, you can help by liking, subscribing, and leaving a review. All of Jalise's resources will be will be linked in the show notes, which are the notes below the podcast. And lastly, but incredibly importantly, if you or anyone you know is a firearms owner experiencing a crisis, look into holdmyguns.org. They are an organization to help connect you with a local gun shop or FFL to store your firearm for you. The link to access their website and to find a storage location partner is in the show notes. Thanks for listening. In the meantime, stay safe and stay vigilant.
Attention all knife enthusiasts. Today's episode is sponsored by the one and only Cold Steel Knives. For over 3 decades, Cold Steel has been leading the way in the knife industry, dedicated to creating the world's strongest and sharpest blades. They've pioneered countless innovations that have become industry hallmarks of quality and sophistication, from their revolutionary checked Kraton handles to the iconic Tonto point blade systems. Cold Steel's progressive accomplishments have set new standards in the field. Their trademark triad locking mechanism remains unrivaled by any of their competitors, proving its unbeatable performance time and time again. Their impressive lineup goes beyond just knives. They offer swords, tomahawks, machetes, cutlery, and a wide range of tools for everyday carry. Trusted by military, law enforcement, emergency services, self-defense professionals, and martial arts practitioners, Cold Steel is renowned for quality, strength, reliability, and dependability. Where strength, safety, and performance come together for over 3 decades and counting, use code SHESHIELD20, that's SHESHIELD 20, again, SHESHIELD20 at checkout.